Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And if you're not, come on, get out, get out of your house and get outside. Google like hiking trips near me, or beaches near me, or waterfalls near me, and you'll be amazed of the beautiful places. You could check out the reviews and check out the pictures and how far you're going to go and what does each trail have to offer you. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give me a video, a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say, "Hi, Starlight." And you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can also share these videos with your family or friends of fish and a jellyfish. They were out here on the water, on the sand. And also you can check me out on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So here we go. This is a beautiful view. It's funny how I was just pulled out here to do this. And tonight, I did get a request from somebody, and thank you. You know who you are. I love when people can be brave and to leave Starlight a message on our YouTube channel. And don't be afraid, there's people that reach out to me and say hello, or they might have a special request or something like that for a different topic. And I appreciate you, because you know what? You weren't being rude by reaching out to me and communicating with me, and that is how we do it. That is a great step right there. I really appreciate you, and like I said, you know who you are. Thank you for reaching out to me. And tonight we're going to talk about, guys, is she the one? Is the one that you're with? That is what this is about tonight. Is how do you know? Or maybe you're getting to know someone out there, and you want to find out, is she the one? Well, like I've mentioned in many other videos, is are you both going in the same direction? That's what you got to really, know is what do you have planned? How do you see your life going? Where do you plan on? What are your plans in life? And that is so important. Are you on the same mission in life? Are you going in the same direction? And if you're not, well, that is a great indicator she's not the one. You want to make sure that whatever you believe in, if you want to go out in the world and help other people out, well, you're going to really want to have somebody out there that is doing something similar. It doesn't actually that she has to be doing the same thing that you're doing, but she should be her heart should be in the same place as far as wanting to help other people make changes in a positive way. And not that she's going to be perfect, absolutely not, is that you want to be able to see that she's working on herself, and that she's willing to actually admit that she's got flaws, and she's able to admit that she's not perfect. And that is so important, is to make sure the person that you're with is being real, and they're not afraid to be themselves. Is this person, and how you can tell is, if you've met the person, is you really want to get to know their family and her friends, or anybody that she associates with, and, really listen to her communicate. What is she saying? Is she saying one thing to you and some totally different? And this goes for guys too. A lot of this will go for men too, as far as really, is he or she the one for you, or are you on the right track with that person? So it is so important to make sure. How do they talk? How do they talk to you about their family or their friends? Are they, talking bad about them? And there's times that we all have stuff that are we could have gone through in our life, but you really don't want to get with somebody that's in the drama and gossiping, so that is something that you really want to watch out for. Are they talking really good about their friends? Are they concerned about their friends? How about their family members? We all got family that, nobody's perfect, and we all have things that we carry in our life, as far as family goes. But how do they talk about their family? Are they angry? Are they, and it's okay to be angry, but people have to heal. If a person is not healed and they're carrying a lot of stuff from their past drama, like past life with their dramas, not drama, but trauma, is you're going to want that person to take that time. Don't be in a rush to getting with them, because they might have to go through some healing, and it'd be best that you actually let that person get healed, and even if they got to go to therapy or counseling or anything like that, to seek help, and get the kind of help that they need. And does this person, number one, even have time for you? Do they have time, or do you reach out and they're always busy? And it is so important, whether you're a guy or girl, that the person that you're seeking, that they actually make time, they actually make an effort, they reach out to you. It's not always you reaching out to them all the time. It should be a like a dance, really, is that you reach out and they reach out. You're both reaching out to each other, and you're inspiring each other. And how is her communication with you is now we're all going to have days that things are not going to work out, and it's okay, here and there, to explain the things that you're going through. But you really got to be wise, that you really you want to have somebody that is able to handle things on their own and still have a positive attitude, even though when they're going through stuff, that they're sorting it out, that they're working on it, that they're that they're trying to figure out what to do and the best steps to take. And because we all have things that we deal with in life, and so you want to make sure that that person is working on themselves, and does she love herself? Does he love himself? And that is so vitally important. If they don't really love themselves, and that is really not a good indicator. Not saying that they can't learn to love themselves. So if they don't respect themselves, if they don't ever speak up, they need to have a voice, so, and when they have a voice, it doesn't mean that they got to be a jerk. It doesn't mean that she's got to be a bitch. It's just that they need to express themselves and to be open with communication. Communication is a key when it comes to any relationship, whether you're a guy or girl. So make sure that the person is able to, if they are having a bad day, that they're able to reach out for help and ask for help. And you really want to make sure that that person is, that because Starlight used to be like this a long time ago, is where that problem, would overtake me, and because I needed to get healed, I needed to learn how to handle myself better. So it's so important to make sure you have somebody that it's okay to have those feelings and emotions that do pop up when you're struggling and going through something, but you really want to help them as far as stay in the now, and learning that those things are lessons in your life to learn. And so it is so important that this person, whether it's a guy or girl, that they're handling themselves in a good way as far as emotions go. And it's okay to have days that things don't work out and stuff like that, but you really want to make sure that you both, not just the women, but guys need healing too. Men or women could be carrying stuff from their childhood, and that's why Starlight has been single for so long, is to not only that I needed healing, that my I was gonna say my better half, isn't that so beautiful, is that my twin flame, he needed healing too, because, um, most people have past relationships, and it affected them in so many different ways. And those are lessons in life that we, hopefully we learn from, and that we don't repeat those same things, in the next relationship. So it's so important to make sure that the one that you're involved with is that they had enough alone time that they can actually heal from either childhood stuff or even, anything else that could have happened to them, because we all are carrying stuff, and I know some of you might think, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, and we all have something that we're dealing with, so no matter how good of a life, there's always something, like relationships or friends or, even losing loved ones. We all are carrying things, in us. And so it's so good to make sure you get to know each other as much as possible. And, but of course, all that does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. So as far as Starlight goes, communication is big key, and men, I have to say, you really have to be open when it comes to relationships, and, be that shoulder sometimes that the women could use as far as when they're dealing with some stuff, that they could be carrying with them, is to help them through stuff. But when it comes to dealing with stuff that's emotional, is even though you could be a shoulder to for somebody to cry on, is that you don't want them to cry for a long time. It's okay to cry and deal with those feelings and those emotions, but you don't want to stay there in that kind of energy for long. You want to, like to deal with it, feel those emotions and then release it, and then find something, like going out in nature, go like do something to get your mind off of it, like listen to beautiful music by like 528 hertz or 432 hertz. Music is really good, or even any kind of, like piano music is really good to listen to. Different kind of music will help you and to relax, or even having a nice cup of relaxing tea, just to help you to calm through those times that you're going to have. And you really want somebody in your life that is, they're going to be there for you, not just when things are going good, but they're going to be there through the thick and thin in life, that they can handle things, on their own, without always asking for help, when any little thing happens. You want to have a person that's balanced with the masculine and the feminine. And same with the men, is you really want to have that guy, or that guy that has a mix of the masculine and feminine. That means that it's okay for a man to cry. It's okay for a man to have feelings, And a lot of women might think that men don't have feelings, but they do. They have a beautiful heart and a beautiful mind. And just because they have that title, being called a man, it doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. It doesn't mean that they don't feel. And so it is so important that the women, out there, is that they have that feminine energy right along with the masculine. You don't want too much of masculine, or you want to have the mixture of both in both sexes, as male and female. So it is okay for a girl to have the masculine energy, but mixed up with the feminine, that she can, like Starlight, I can wear a pair of jeans, and I can actually go and really be feminine, wearing a dress and shoes, and have the earrings, and have that special walk, or that voice. And then there's other times, I can actually wear something totally different and work on a car, fix, like Starlight is had to learn some things with my car on this journey, because I do have that masculine and that feminine with me. So these are, let's see, some things. And you really want to make sure that you communicate about your future, and what do you plan, like if you plan on having kids or not. So you might have missed a lot of videos. There's other videos on my YouTube channel about with relationships with men and women. So those are some good videos that I made a long time ago on my YouTube channel. So if you need other help on that, it's good to go and check that out. And you got to find out, does she have kids? Does she want kids? Does he want kids? Does he have kids? That's a really important thing to know about as far as this person. And do you want kids? Or maybe you don't want kids, but you got to find out with that person whether they do or not. So it's so important to ask a lot of questions when you are searching, like if you're online, is to ask them a lot of questions as far as where they see their future, like in 10 years. Hey, where do you see what do you see yourself doing in 10 years from now? That is a big question. Is what do you hoping to accomplish in that time frame? Where do you plan on staying in the area? You want somebody really that's flexible, because if things change in life, and you have to switch things up, are they willing to let go of their mom and dad? Are they willing to move away from their children? Those are things that they might say, no, never. I can't ever leave my family. I always have to stay there. So those are things you got to find out, whether it's a guy or is to find out, are they just going to be always, in the same area? And Starlight definitely moved far away from her area and her state. So it is so important to really know about that person, and how are they when they, whether it's a guy or a girl, how are they when they get upset? Do they handle themselves well? And you can test people out. Like I've been tested so many times on this journey as far as like do I get upset? Do I get angry? And it's okay to get angry. Sometimes there are people out there that will test you because they want to see how you're going to be in the real deal, because a lot of people, everybody is wearing a mask. So you want to really test them out and see, you don't always have to respond to them. See how they're going to react when you don't always respond. It's a test to find out, hey, are they going to start calling me a bunch of names? Are they going to start cursing me out? Try to see how they're going to be when, let me see. Say if you check your messages all the time right away and they're like, oh, wow, they got my message. And, so you got to test them out. Hey, see how they're going to respond. And, also with communication, you got to really check out is, are they reaching out to you too much? Are they overdoing it? So these are things you want to get with somebody that is willing to grow with you. And as a man or a woman, you can help them grow. If you really see that they're really doing a work in their life, and they're really working hard, and they're struggling to do something, they're actually working on themselves. Those are the ones that you really want to keep around and see if you can work together with them and help them through things to strengthen that relationship. It's so important not to give up on people when they really are showing that they're really working hard, they're doing their best. That's the kind of people you want in your life, are the ones that are really trying. Not that they're always getting as far as they want to go, but they're actually out there doing it. They're actually pushing them, and they're always making changes and adjustments and stuff like that. So those are the kind of people that you're going to want, is the ones that they don't quit easy. They are tough. They are, they're strong. They keep on going. They don't give up, And are they willing to let go of friends, that are not serving them? Are they willing to let go of family? Because if they're with the wrong kind of people, those people can actually destroy your relationship that you're building. So they got to be wise on the kind of people that they spend time with. So anyway, I do have other videos, and I'm trying to really work on shortening up my videos. So there's so much more. I will be making more of these kind of videos as far as like relationships go. But you ought to check out my playlist on relationships with men and women, because that is when Starlight made videos a long time ago. I've been wanting to make a relationship video coming up, but I'm gonna make another one coming up soon. So I really hope you enjoy this beautiful view here. This is the first time Starlight went out, well, out here on the ocean. I've been on a boat when the sun rises, but not when the sun sets. So anyway, this is a beautiful night. I really hope you enjoy this view out here, and thank you again for leaving me a message. Please, there's nothing wrong with letting me know anything like that in a respectful way. I respect you when you're using your voice and you're able to say, hey, Starlight, could you put a video out on relationships? So thank you so much for reaching out to me and asking me that question. And look at me, I'm out here. I got in my car, drove to the ocean to do this just for you. So I really appreciate all of you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all. And, be very patient. Don't just jump in, with anyone out there. I'm telling you, really want to slow down. And, sometimes we got to take care of business, instead of jumping into something that we're going to regret later on in life, and like, why, you got to really be patient, not to be quick when it comes to getting to know someone or having a relationship with them. And you really, it's not about the outward, it's about the inward. How are they in the inside? Forget the outside. Forget about, they got to be taking care of themselves, but it's not all about the outside. It's about the inside of their heart, and how do they think? How do they, how do they treat people out in public? I'll tell you what, that is a big kick in the ass right there. I've learned a lot in my past about, you learn a lot about a person. How are they behind the car? Do they got road rage? Are they patient? Do they lose their cool quick? I am coming up with a lot of stuff as I'm ending this video, but how do they treat people out in public? Are they sweet? Are they kind? Or are they stuck up? Or are they all about themselves? But they should be, God number one, and they should take care of their needs first. Then you or their family, you shouldn't be the last one that they're out there reaching out to. You should be like, if you're in love with that person, they should really be there, first with God, them, and then you. Or if they have children, So, and then everybody else. But if they always have their friends before you, that is something that they can work on. It's not like an end deal. It just say, hey, there's an order here, and this is the order that it should work. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight for them to learn that, especially if they've been doing it in the wrong order their whole life. So I do have videos out there on my YouTube channel that do describe these different things. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.